And we are live.
Good morning.
Powered by Riverside.
Good morning, Spotlight fam. I am so excited to be back here live with you again. This is another episode of the Spotlight DMV, and I am your host, Rose Johnson. And you already know this is where we celebrate the people, businesses, and change makers moving Prince George's County and the DMV forward. And today's guest is bringing wellness and luxury right here to our backyard in Prince George's County. Please welcome Ms. Nadine Vatel, CEO of Century Sentiments Massage and Wellness Spa, a luxury spa located in Bowie Town Center. Nadine, welcome to the Spotlight.
Thank you for having me, Rose. I really appreciate it.
I'm so excited to be talking to you today. And actually, you and I heard about you before I actually met you. And it's been about a year since we actually met. A good friend of yours was telling me that there was a new spa that was coming to Bowie Town Center, and that one of her friends is the owner, and she was also, this is Aronica, telling me about your work. And she didn't just talk about you as a luxury spa owner or a business owner. She said that you create spaces of peace and of mindfulness. And I was intrigued. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to meet this lady. And so we actually met through Prince George's Chamber of Commerce, and it's been about a year now. And so for about a year, I've been hearing you talk about building your spa and that luxury was coming to Bowie Town Center. So I really want to get into it and get into your story of building this business and what even inspired you to come to Prince George's County. So let's start with that. What inspired you to open a luxury spa in Prince George's County?
I am a native of Prince George's County, born and raised in Lanham, Maryland, graduated from Parkdale High School, go Panthers. So just being born and raised here, I shop here. I live here. I raise my family here. And therefore, there are certain experiences that I wanted to not have to drive outside of my county to experience, and not out of my county, not out of my state for sure. And the spa industry, although we see the word spa on a lot of different businesses, it's not the spa experience that I was looking for and hoping to have in Prince George's County. So my husband Alex and I, we had two choices. We could either talk about we want this and we want that, or we could do something about it. So we decided we're going to do something about it, and we're going to build a luxury spa, the spa that we wanted to see. We said we will build it right here in our own backyard in Prince George's County.
I really love that. I'm all about being able to build what you want to see in your community, because it's very easy to focus on what's not there and the lack, and drive to other places to spend your money. But listen, the older I get, first and foremost, just the thought of having to drive a way out and away from where I live to patronize, something like a spa and like a luxury spa. It's I don't want to sit in traffic. And the DMV area, we have so much traffic. Like, I cannot take it. I cannot take it. All I can say is thank you, good Lord, for allowing me to do work in Prince George's County. And so I know, when you talk about not having having the experience at some of those other spas that you were looking for, what in particular do you mean by that?
I mean the attention. So when I go to a spa, I want to feel seen. I want to feel heard. I want to feel like I matter. I want to feel like a guest. And sometimes I would go into spas and, if I'm getting working with a practitioner, yes, that for that few minutes the practitioner is servicing me. But then when it's over, it's here's a cup of water, go into the waiting room, have it, enjoy the rest of your day, and on to the next. So I was like, I wish there was something to where people could guide me and I can
Mhm.
have different, like a curated, guided experience to where just for a little while I felt like there was a partner in my journey and still being, having that time to be alone, but still having that guide because we always say self care, but what is it? What
Yeah.
is self care? Practice self care. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean I go get my nails done? Is that lashes? Is that a glass of wine? Is it dinner with friends? And I learned it's all of that and more. It
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
spending time with yourself and having a quiet space because it's scary sometimes, the thoughts that we have that just run through our mind. But being able to quiet your mind and have a space to do that outside of the home, I realize is really important.
Yes, I agree. And I like what you're saying about having a guide, because a part of when we talk about wellness and meditation, it's about being able to quiet your mind.
Yes.
And there are times when there are things that we're thinking about, like if we had someone guiding us to something through something as simple as a spa experience. I don't have to think about what room I'm going to. I don't have to think about where do I sit in this lounge. I don't have to think about any of that. I have someone guiding me through that experience. That's one less thing that I have to think about, and a wonderful way to actually experience to the full extent being able to relax your mind and to meditate. So I really love that. And so, as I mentioned, Aronica said that you create spaces of wellness and places where you can connect spiritually and meditate and, be at peace and be relaxed. So talk to us a bit more about that type of work that you do in general.
I'll tell you, I'm not even sure how it all gets done. The best way that I could describe it is that it's almost like a painting. So a lot of times people talk about design and, you pre-pick everything, you order everything. Whereas for me, it's literally a painting. It is like I just one piece that inspires me or a color, and I build off of that, and I let this space come to life on its own. And it's a weird concept when you're thinking about furniture and pictures and fixtures, but that's actually the process. I don't just go out and just click, 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 order, order, order. It's like the piece has to speak to me and it has
Yeah.
to speak to what I am trying to accomplish in the space. And that's how I build off of it and I grow and I love to just go out and see what's new, take drives, see what's out there, see what inspires me. Just your earrings alone, I'm just like, ooh, I could, just build a room off around that. So it's it's the it's the inspiration. Things have to inspire you to want to feel. What kind
Yeah.
of feeling does it evoke? And
No,
that's
I
how we
love
see
that.
the rooms.
I love that, because our spaces definitely add to what we're feeling and to how we receive information, and you're a creative, I could tell, and an artist in your own right, and it comes through putting together spaces that allow people to just relax and be with their quiet their mind. I love it,
Yes.
Nadine. And so, speaking of quieting your mind, you have been really transparent about your business journey. And, you know, I know it's taken some time to get the business built. As I mentioned, we were talking about it last year, and you were very excited about the build out and about getting up and running. And then you had a soft opening in September. And shortly after your soft opening, you were sharing with us about the challenges you have been facing. And so for those that don't know, talk to us a bit about that, about the challenges of building this out and actually opening and starting up the business.
Well, I'll tell you. So the concept first of starting a spa, it sounded so much fun. It sounded like, ooh, I'm gonna build a spa and it's gonna be relaxing. But I had to learn the hard way. Business is business, and it is not for the faint of heart. Um, the journey is actually a 2 year journey,
Mm.
2 year journey, and it was hard because it was doing something that myself and Alex had never done before. We had never done this before. So we had those challenges. So the first part is just coming up with your concept and that business plan and making sure that you have a strong enough business plan that when you are out talking to lenders, you need financing, whatever it is, that it has to make sense, right?
Mm.
So that was a journey. Then finding investors. We were lucky enough and fortunate enough that Industrial Bank, a community owned bank, um, believed in our vision. And I have to really highlight how important Industrial was in this journey because they are a community bank and they understand Prince George's County and what it has and what it does not have. They were able to see the value in helping us obtain an SBA loan to bring this to the county.
Mm.
So that was a big piece, and we would not be here without Industrial because we needed that community-based bank that understood Prince George's County, understood our wealth and what we could bring. But it's still hard going through the loan process. If anybody has ever closed on anything in their
Yeah.
life, it is a process. Um, the paperwork, you have to just be willing to give out everything, blood type, whatever, whatever information. It's just like, okay, you needed to get, I'm going to get it to you again. You know, you need updated numbers. You have to plan out what are your quarterly projections? How do you plan to repay this money? How is your business going to function and work? So that is huge, right? We got through that piece. Then we've got to find a space.
Yeah.
And we have to looking for the type of real estate that we needed in Prince George's County for it to be existing already. It was challenging. So finding a place to where it made sense to build a
Mm-hmm.
luxury spa and to have all of the conveniences that we wanted our clients to have, not having to pay for parking, not going through parking garages, not paying tolls, you know, just all of that, right? So finding the location, because as they say, location, location, location.
It's
So finding
everything.
the
Yeah.
location was important. Um, and finding this space was and still is a blessing. I'm very happy that we are here in the Shops at Bowie Town Center. And I'm very happy that we were able to find an 11,000 square foot spot because the other part is that my vision was big and people didn't understand it. And I have realized that you have to be brave enough and bold enough
Yeah.
to envision something that even if somebody else does not make sense, and I'll tell you, some of the loan officers, you know, everybody was just like, what are you doing? Do you need 11,000 square feet for a spa? And I'm like, for the kind of spa that I want, yes, I do. I
Mm.
need all of this space. And those who have come in, they're like, wow, you maximized every inch of this space. So going through the real estate part was really hard. And then there's just the business. And a business needs people,
Yeah.
and you need to have qualified people. So I was very transparent in some of the mistakes that as CEO, I felt like, okay, next time around, do this better. One, understanding the terms of everything. Um, every agreement that you enter into, you need to know how you're going to get out of it. So that is one rule. Like if I'm going to sign a contract, I need to know how to cancel it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, our biggest struggle here with Sensory Sentiments was not the financing with Industrial Bank. That was fine. It was our tenant improvement allowance. So for those who don't know and those who are thinking about ever, obtaining a commercial space or anything like that, you you have to customize it to, well, 9 times out of 10, you're going to customize the space to however you need it to function. And which means that you are making improvements on the landlord's property because we obviously don't own the Shops of Bowie Town Center. We are leasing the space. So we've leveled what was previously David's Bridal and did everything: flooring, new ceilings, walls, just everything: plumbing, electrical, mechanical, every single thing. So we've made improvements to the owner's property. And in our lease agreement, we did have an attorney, a real estate attorney, that helped us with the lease agreement. And in that lease agreement, after we did all of the improvements, we were supposed to get our tenant improvement allowance, which is a certain amount of money that says, okay, you improved our property is now worth more. So since you put that money initially in, we give you a portion of that back. And that was very important to our business plan and our business model because that was part of our working capital. So we made the initial investment and we're expecting that working capital back. And that working capital was supposed to help with marketing and promotion, which anyone who owns a business knows you have to have marketing and promotion. And when the landlord did not provide that tenant improvement allowance, it took away all of our marketing and promotion money. So it was a huge hit. The second part of the huge hit to us was that you always want to make sure that if you're getting a space that everything is disclosed. So in 2018, there was a mandate that required fire alarm poles by all entrances and exits in commercial spaces. So a lot of us probably remember the little red boxes, and if you didn't want to
Yeah.
take the test, you pulled the fire alarm, and okay, no test I'm sure kids are still doing that today. Um, but this location, imagine we signed a lease agreement in 2023, and this location had 0 fire alarm poles.
Wow. Wow.
So we didn't find this out until we are well into construction. So it is not an easy fix, right? We had to, anything you do when you're doing a build out, if you revise anything, you've got to redo your architectural plans. So we are in the midst of a build out and going through inspections and find out that we cannot get our final use and occupancy permit because the landlord failed to make sure that this property was up to code. So we had to go through and rehire the electrical, mechanical, all of the architects to redraw, to put this in the plans. Then anytime you make the changes to plans, you have to submit that to the permit office. That has to go through a review period. After that goes to the review period, you've got to get your approval. Then you've got to pay your third-party inspection company to come out. You also have to, because we didn't know about this, we had to find somebody who actually did that work. That's a special.
So specific. Yes.
That's a very special. That's not something that a general contractor can do. That is a fire alarm specialist. So we had to go through and get in the middle of our build out, get bids for this, select a company, make sure the landlord approves the company, pay the company $20,000 just for some poles, but also the delays. So a lot of people are like, when are you opening? When are you opening? It's been a long time, but those are all of the things that were going on in the background. So we are still, the day that I made that video, it was just a day where I felt like I did everything right and still could not win. We were told you must have your use and occupancy permit. Got that. We were told you must have a construction lien waiver, that there's no construction liens against the property. Got that. We were told that, okay, you need to give us your opening date. Got that. We were asked to submit pictures. Easy. Sent that. And the month, and actually literally after we opened is when we learned that we were not going to get the tenant improvement allowance.
Wow. Wow.
So that day, it was like, I am open. I have staff. I have overhead. Nobody knows I'm here. I'm like expecting this chunk of money to like really help me get going. And it was just like, I'm not going to get it. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I put all the money into this space. I'm open now. What am I going to do? And I literally just, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
see how it's going to work.
And when I saw that video, a lot of us, when we saw it and started sharing, because
Yeah,
people were with, some of the comments that I saw, exactly what you're saying. Like, we didn't even know about this business. We hadn't even heard of it. And that's what you're saying. You didn't have the money to market. And I think it is so important that we have these conversations
it is.
because, I just recently talked about something like this with a friend where, people see some of the work that you're doing and, oh, I want to get involved. I want to do it
Right.
too. But then it's like when you get in the midst of it and you're going through the journey and you start to meet these challenges or the days that you have to put in that work, and sometimes you don't even know if the end result is going to be that we have a successful business. Sometimes it's just a learning experience and you have to move on to the next thing. But I really love that you were able to partner with Industrial Bank, that they were able to support you in the vision, in financing the vision, because for a lot of businesses, financing is a huge hurdle and barrier.
It is. It is. I will say, as black owned minority, business, there's always this tendency to tell people there's a ton of money out there. Oh, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you get the grant? And I'm like, you know what? Here's the money. Because I
Yeah.
looked for it. I looked for it. Um, and sometimes, there are people obviously who have yes been awarded grants, but I think we need to change the conversation a little bit because there's so many business owners that I have talked to that have said they've been told this. They go to meetings and everybody's talking about these grants and these services, but where actually is the money? Who's actually receiving it?
Yeah.
Who's actually benefiting from it? How do you actually get there? Give me the link, give me the name, give me the actual step by steps, or point me in the right direction. You don't have to do the work for me. Point me in the right direction. But the financing conversations, I think, need to really change so that people could understand that, yes, a grant you don't have to pay back, but especially if you're going for a business loan, you have to have collateral.
Yeah.
And that is a big piece of the conversations that I feel are missing in these conversations about financing and funding and meeting with different banks and partners and lenders and things like that. It's that you have to have capital. Credit, everybody kind of knows you need it. Your credit needs to be at a certain level, but you have to have collateral. And that
Yeah.
is where a lot of people struggle, especially if it's a new business, a new concept, you're just getting started. If you don't own a home, if you don't have a bunch of stocks, if you don't have a stockpile of cash, where do you get your collateral from to even qualify for this loan? So it's like it's there, but if you don't have collateral, it's not there for you.
Yes, and I agree 100% that, when I started to think about myself, to have a business, to the
Mm-hmm.
Spotlight DMV will be a business. A part of what my decision was based on in opening this type of business, well, how much money does it require upfront? You know, because I understood that there's going to be some time I'm going to have to bootleg it, if it because I'm not
Yes.
going to be able to get financing. So, maybe I'll get some investors based off of what the vision is and the mission. However, I knew in the beginning it would be very tough to get financing. And that is exactly why I was like, okay, a phone and some recording apps. I think I can manage that. I like to talk. But yes, that is a very important piece of, where it's so easy to say, oh, just open up a business, but then you get into it and have to do the work, and it requires time, it requires effort, it requires you learning, it also requires resources. And so, yes, we need to really be transparent about those pieces of it, because that is the only way that we can start to really see community and local businesses open up by people that live here in the county, that understand our county and who we are and want to see things like a luxury spa in the county. And so, speaking of wanting to see the luxury spa, let's get into the actual experience when someone comes to the spa. And I want to play this video first before we talk.
All right.
It is most certainly a beautiful, beautiful space. And I have not been yet, but I cannot wait to go. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the spa itself, because as you mentioned, it's not your average setup. And we're talking about hot tub rooms, a full Zen lounge, even a men's lounge. What can guests expect to experience when they walk through your doors?
When guests walk through our doors, they are the first thing that we always do is have everyone repeat an affirmation. And that affirmation is the foundation of sensory sentiments. And that is, I am meant to live in peace. And we tell everyone to say it with intent. I am meant to live in peace. So from that affirmation, that's when our doors open to the guest. And we wanted to make sure that we provided a nice high-end luxury experience. So we take everyone to their respective locker rooms. We provide robes and slippers, and everybody can just change and get comfortable, right? Because texture, how you're feeling in what you're wearing is the first thing. We want you to be comfortable. And then we take you to your private lounge. So we have our private ladies lounge, which yes, it is bigger, but we built the men's lounge. So Alex was like, no, men go to the spas too. And I'll tell you, our first two customers were men.
Oh, I love that. Yes,
Yes,
men
I said,
deserve
what?
peace and wellness
Yes,
too.
yes. So my first two paying customers were men, and I loved it. So we have our men's lounge as well. From there, we have a curator, our spa curators, and that's when they will pick you up to start you on your journey. Um, it varies on what people do, but all of the spaces, we usually start off with what we call our air stretch room. A lot of people don't stretch. Or
Hmm.
sometimes we may, if we feel motivated, it's the top of the year, it's about to be summertime and swimsuit season. It's like, okay, let me get out here and do something. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. I was doing a little too much. Wait a minute. Now you're out for like a whole week. So we have our air stretch room. It's a touchless room. So on a massage table, we have our air stretch mats, and it's really nice because it inflates and it deflates. So people even fall asleep while stretching. Imagine that. But you're able to do your neck, your back, and your hip. And we do that as a 15 or 30-minute session for someone to get a nice gentle stretch, but to just get those parts of your body just moving without overexerting yourself.
Yeah.
From there, we take you to our garden meditation room, which I'll tell you is, I believe, a fan favorite. I don't think anybody has walked through those doors and has not just fallen in love. So in the garden meditation room, we have our Chase Lounge chairs, beautiful scenery, and running water. There is something about listening to just calming running water,
Yeah.
which just soothes you. And we provide all of our guests with a nice aromatherapy heated neck wrap, and you spend at least 30 minutes in there. People fall asleep all the time, which is fine. And some people just, it's that quiet space. The garden meditation room is meant to be that quiet space where you can just relax with yourself and think for a little bit. From the garden meditation room, we then take everyone to the sleep meditation room. And that is where we have our zero gravity massage chairs. And what it's really nice is that it puts you in that zero gravity floatless state. The room is very dark. We give you an aromatherapy eye mask. And while your body is being massaged, you just go to sleep. Because sleep is something that a lot of people struggle with.
Yes.
Entrepreneurs, our minds are always going, thinking, our to do lists are never ending. Just people with demanding lives, careers, whether you're passionate about what you're doing or trying to find your way, like our thoughts just sometimes keep us up. So we always know that sleep is important. So we have that sleep meditation room so that people can rest. And from there, we do our saunas. And our sauna treatments are different. So most people are used to either the floor saunas, which is more in a Korean bath style house where everybody just is on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
or you're in used to that sauna box where, maybe in the locker room or something, you just kind of go in and you sit on the bench for a little while in your towel or your robe and sweat for as long as you could take it and and get out. But our saunas are different because it's done in a private room and it's done in a massage style room on the massage table. So you are laying down on a massage table. We made the investment in these specialized sauna mats where we are able to adjust the temperature. And that's what I love about this feature
Mm.
is that we can adjust the temperature because I've gone into saunas and I'm like, I can't stand it.
Yes.
I all right, I got 3 more minutes and then I'm like, I can't do it anymore. But when you're able to adjust the temperature to your liking, then you can actually get a sauna treatment that you can enjoy because you're controlling that setting. And that we do for about 20 minutes. So for those who can take it, we increase that heat. But for those who are like, hey, I need to work my way up, we can decrease it and then, work your way up to that level where you're comfortable. And again, you're on a massage table. So it just adds that extra bit of luxury and just, that quiet time. And then, of course, as you saw, we have our jacuzzis.
Yes.
And that was a big deal for us. We invested in 4 jacuzzi tubs. It's 3 people max. And the reason why we did it this way instead of just having one big room is because when I've gone to spas sometimes, when you have that big jacuzzi, it could be nice. However, if there's a group already in there, if, sometimes you just don't want to intrude or people are having conversations and you're just trying to look around and like, is there a seat for me? Okay, it looks a little crowded, let me wait for somebody to get out before I can get in. But when you come to sensory sentiments, your soaking time is reserved for you. So that's what makes it really great is that it is yours for your time. If you choose to share it with a friend or family member that you come to the spa with, we have that available. But if you just want that tub for yourself, it's yours.
You know,
So that
I really love that you start off with a stretch. There is a therapist, and one of his main sayings, I'm not going to say it the way he says it, but he's like everybody hips are messed up. and and I'm like, he's absolutely correct because I prefer even over like in the past I used to like a softer massage, but now I want you to wrestle me,
you need
stretch
that
me
deep
out.
tissue. You need that.
Yeah. And so I've come to love the stretches even more than the massage because it gives what I need,
Mhm.
this and even just the way that you're talking about it, it feels very soothing. So I cannot wait to experience it.
And
Um,
I do have to add, we also have our detox room.
oh yes,
So
detox.
we have to, yes, because that is something I tell everybody, detoxes are not just something that you do at the top of the year or after you've overdone it on vacation. Detox is something that's very important that we can do regularly. So we do a gentle detox. It's through your feet. We have the warm soak bath. We do ginger tablets. We do an ionic machine that helps to pull the impurities from your body out through your feet. So that is also something that we have included here, just to make sure that people are getting that full sensory experience.
And then it's even you even have an area for like lunch, you know.
Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
sensory dining room. So far it has been a huge success. We allow guests to rent it out. So we've had birthday celebrations, we've had
Oh,
wellness
nice.
retreats, we've had anniversary parties there. We're getting ready for our bridal expo November 6th. 5 to 8, where we are going to, just let bridals parties see where they can host their bachelorette, bridal showers, rehearsal dinners. So the sensory dining, it's just another place where you can have that luxury experience, and that luxury setting and dining. Dining in
No,
style.
and so some of the comments that are coming in, Chandria says about the story in general that it's very enlightening and thank you for holding on and being resilient. And she also says that the spa sounds amazing and she cannot wait to visit.
Yes, yes. I'll
And
tell
so,
you.
oh, go ahead.
No, I'll tell you the resilience. I sent out an email just this past week to my subscribers, and I realized that part of the resilience is that I needed to be more upfront and open with my faith.
Mm.
God, God saved this spot. God has brought angels in. God has brought people in to pray with us, pray over us. We have had people walk in and just hold our hands and just pray. God has saved sensory sentiments. Sensory sentiments is here and will be here. And I can't take the credit. Nobody else can take the credit. It's because of God.
Oh wow,
Hands down. Period.
that is so beautiful, because I find that when God is calling us to share a message, and you put it out there again, you were out there, you put all of your business in the streets. And I say it that way because it's not an easy thing to do at all, especially when it's something that is, you feel like this was a vision that was given to you to
Yes.
share, and now it's not even working. But a part of what I believe when we're given these messages, these visions, is that we need to share it so that people can see the glory in the work that God is doing. Because I did not do this through my own will, through my own resilience. I had to rely on God to bring the people to me that were going to help make this work. And so thank you for even being transparent, for doing what you're being called to do, for sharing that God is helping you through this journey. Amen to that. And so I was going to ask you about your message beyond business, and I'm hearing it loud and clear here. And so as we move into the closing, I really want to thank you again for the transparency and the grace, and for reminding us what it looks like to bet on yourself even when it's hard. Now, share with us some of your upcoming events that you're having. You mentioned the bridal showcase. What other events do you have coming up?
Yes. So I have, again, through God, met some wonderful people, a wonderful set of sisters from Mob the Block came in when they heard our story and have already said that we are going to be mobbing the block at Sensory Sentiments Massage and Wellness Spa. So The dates for that are coming soon, but I believe that will be in November. So we're super excited about that. And shout out to those sisters for coming in and being angels to Sensory Sentiments. We have our other angels from the Prince George's County Chamber of Commerce, where we're going to be hosting our coffee connection or the coffee connection for November. So November 4th, 8 to 10, we're going to make sure that we close down the spa, have it open to members of the chamber, businesses, people who haven't joined the Prince George's County Chamber. I'll tell you, finding those connections, finding those resources, connecting with people who will put you in touch with others who can help you or just be a guide or an ear. It's amazing. So we are honored and excited to host the November 4th Prince George's County Chamber of Commerce, Prince George's County Chamber of Commerce Coffee Connection. So that's coming up. And then, as you said it before, our Bridal Expo. We are excited and want to work with other people in the industry who can benefit from being at a bridal show. So we are not charging anyone to set up a table. We are actually just wanting to help other businesses showcase their talents. So this is one of those times to where, you know, if you want to be a part of an expo, you've got to pay like $1,500 just to get the table, and then you've got to do this and that, and it could be very expensive, especially if you're just starting. So we are making sure that we are having at least 2 vendors who do flowers, who do arrangements, balloons, gowns, wedding planners, cakes, mocktails, cocktails, whatever. We are allowing vendors to come into Sensory Sentiments, set up, and showcase what they have to future brides and grooms who are looking to have their special day. There's so much talent. There's just so much talent here. Yeah. And if we are able to just provide a place and space for people to showcase that talent, it's huge. So for those who want to participate, please reach out to us because we're looking at, like I said, we're going to do a max of 2 per industry so that it's not too much of just one thing, but we can have a variety and showcase the talents and some of the local businesses that people who are looking to tie the knot and, you know, spend their lives together, that they can also support local businesses. And yeah, we're doing that November 6th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
What an incredible way for you to give back, Nadine, even in the midst of you going through, going through what you're going through, you are still finding ways to give back and to help bring others up. So thank you so much for that. And where can folks find you on social media?
Yes, so our website, sensorysentiments.com. We are on Instagram at Sensory Sentiments. We are on Facebook at Sensory Sentiments. We are on TikTok at Sensory Sentiments. We are LinkedIn, Pinterest. We are trying to make sure that we hit all of the major platforms. And, you know, Rose, I just have to say thanks to you for even having the vision for this DMV Spotlight or Spotlight DMV, and giving people like myself an opportunity to showcase our businesses and what we do. This is fantastic.
From one Prince George's County girl to another, listen, we if we don't talk about the beauty in our own community, then who else is going to talk about it, right? So, I appreciate your work as well. And guys, make sure you are following Sensory Sentiments, and not just following, book your appointments. Christmas, the holidays are coming up. We can do some gift cards. And then also
certificates.
Yes. And so also I want to shout out Bronze Girl Collective for the video that I played earlier. And Bronze Girl Collective is on Instagram. They are empowering content for women that are 40 plus, a fabulous set of ladies that are running that. And so make sure, again, you're following Sensory Sentiments, and make sure you are following the Spotlight DMV on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Our stories from our community deserve the spotlight. Until next time.